Welcome back to another UMLO Extra. And in this episode, we're going to talk about all the different ways you can add intelligence to your elements. So let's get started. First off, I'm in Sparx 17.1, build 1710 or 10. And I just wanted to preface that. Many of you are in older versions. And I am in the default workspace layout. So I've got browser on the left, properties in the upper right, and notes in the lower right. And I want to work in my favorite workspace layout, and I've shown you all how to create these. I just call it common full. And what this does is it puts toolbox on the left, it puts browser in the upper right, and a bunch of other tools, timelines, inspector, pan and zoom, and library. Then I have notes in the lower right down here, where I have notes, properties, traceability, features, document, and scripting, because I write a lot of script automation. And then I have a work area in the middle. Now we're going to build this from scratch, but I have a class element here that I want to openly discuss. In the class element, I can double click it and I can get to note. This is the note field where I can add all sorts of intelligence about this class, which is named class 1. But I can add all sorts of intelligence relevant to class 1 at any time. So the first thing is My Workbench. So in the Start tab, we have something called My Workbench. And on older versions, this was called My Diary. So it does exactly the same thing. Let me go ahead and select it. Now, My Workbench only works in SQL. I'm in a local environment and I cannot take advantage of My Workbench, where I can add diary type notes relevant to any particular element. So when we go to create this, we are going to be in a SQL instance for doing this. Next, we have journal. And in my workspace layout, I have toolbox on the left. I have focus, which allows me to get to recent elements, model views, and so on. We've talked about this in this channel. And I have something called discussion and reviews. So here I can add journal notes, and in this case on the 30th, informational text on journal capabilities. So I'm able to add journals to any element that I can support collaboration with other team members. And journal is available in your local environment, not just your SQL or Cloud SQL environment. Next, we have linked document. And that's what this icon means. It's saying that there's a linked document for this element. And there's a couple of ways to get to this. Number one, I can right click on the element and I can go to linked document and I can add a canned linked document or a custom linked document. And in this case, this is a custom linked document. The second way, and I have it open, is document. And document is available for me in the lower right. And I can do things like change the perspective, like take away the page borders, and I can put as much intelligence as I want in a linked document, either here or directly into the linked document. Next, we're going to talk about tagged values. And tagged values allow you to, if I go to properties and I go to tags, allow you to add tag values to further add and extend intelligence about this element. And I can right click on here, compartment visibility, and I can expose tags here. And now I can see all of the tag values that are extending the intelligence of this element. Now let's roll over to a blank project repository or instance. I refer to these as instances of Sparx. And we have a blank diagram and a namespace or package called My Element. And we're going to add a class element. We're just going to put it right here in the middle. And we're just going to call it My Class. Now, typically when you're bringing in elements into your work area, you're adding definitions, notes, any intelligence that highlights what the element is about. And that's going to show up over here in my notes section. But before you get started on elements, often you want to brainstorm what that element is for. And we may start with My Workbench. So we're going to go to My Workbench. In older versions, this is called My Diary, and it's set on today's date today. And we can start typing in what we want to do on this particular element. Now, this is just My Workbench. This is not exposing this to the rest of the team. I can create a journal entry from the Start tab. I come over and I hit Journal. Mine's in the left side next to the toolbox. And I can start putting journal entries here to state or journalize what this element is about. And this can support collaboration and discussions with the project team. So if you're in a team environment, when the team comes in and looks at the diagram or the element journal, they see what you started and they can add to this. The other thing they can do is right-click on this and they can go to collaborate and they can discuss. And they may start a discussion as for, and then parentheses, I agree. Right? So UML operator posted this, but any team member can come in and start a discussion in real time using, and next to the journal entry, start discussions, and then later move to reviews, which you've also learned in this channel, and we're not going to talk about in this episode. As we work through this particular element, we're able to, and I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in on this by selecting it and then rolling the mouse button, or going to pan and zoom and focusing in on the particular element that I want to talk about. Now, I or any authorized modeler in the team can right-click on this and bring in a linked document. And then they can choose from custom templates that are available, and there are no custom templates in this blank project, or they can use any of the canned templates that are here. And we're going to use integration plan and select OK. And you've learned about this in other episodes. I'll try to include the links, but let's go to zoom and let's go to 125%. And you can create custom templates with your own logo and all of that, but you can start building an integration plan from this template with the help from the team. I've also shown you how to remove linked documents from an element simply by going to where you have documents stored. And what we're going to do is delete the linked document from here, and yes, and it is gone. And then at any time, you can add another linked document. And if you have custom linked documents, you can bring those in instead of the canned documents. Just know that when you delete them from the element, they're gone forever. So either one, baseline your package before such changes are made, two, print the linked document, or export the linked document so that you can bring it up as an RTF form later on. We're not going to talk about this in this video, but linked documents is another way to add intelligence to your model elements. I'm going to take away the borders. Sorry, here, toggle page borders so that I'm able to see all the content. And then from here, I can go into edit mode and I can start typing over here. And to get the linked documents is simply going to the Start tab, Properties, and going to Document, and it will take you right to wherever the document window is in your Sparx installation. Next is tagged values. And if I select the element and I go to Properties and I go to Tags, there are no tags that are here right now. I can look at what tags are available for me. I can add my own tags here manually, or I can right click on here because I've created a script, and I'm going to use JavaScript, adds the tags for me to this particular element. Then I can come in and start populating these tags, dailies. We're going to leverage ability. I'm going to just start adding in some tags. This is going to be invest, stage. I can select, we're in design and more, scaled factors, stack, any tag values I want. And if I have an application ID, AID is what we refer to them as, I can add in that AID in from the asset repository for this particular element. And then in the element, if I right click in here, I can expose compartment visibility, and I can turn on tags, and I can see what tags have been populated. If they are blank, and the ones that say make selection, they're considered blank, they will not show up. So in this particular case, I'm able to see that this class called my class has these tags. There's the application ID, there's its category storage, leverageability is invest, and we're in the design stage. And I have a linked document that further explains what's going on with this element. I have discussion taking place, I have a journal, and I can consistently maintain my diary as we're working through the life cycle of this element development. All right, we're going to wrap up. I hope this session was helpful for you. We talked about today using my journal on any particular element, on any particular diagram, and we've talked about linked documents, being able to bring those in to further enhance the intelligence around this element. And I've shown you how to expose linked documents in your custom reports. We talked about My Workbench, formerly My Diary, where you can think for yourself prior to even starting an exercise for a new application that's coming out. We also talked about tagged values, where if you go to properties and tag values, you can bring in your own tag values to extend the intelligence. There's stereotypes for storytelling and so much more. But that's all we're gonna have time for in today's session. And until that next episode, happy modeling.